Hello. Hey guys, and welcome to another Ask Me Anything session. This is the part of Sound School where you ask questions, we try to give intelligent answers, and I'm here with a little bit of backup help. Alexia, how are you doing?
I'm fine. What about you?
I'm doing great. Just woke up, so I'm not too certain how intelligent my answers will be, but we shall see.
So can I start?
Yeah. What's the first question we have?
So Leandro asked, what's the difference between a diploma, a certificate, a degree, and the other levels of studies?
Okay.
First of all, did I say it correctly?
Certificate?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, more or less.
But it was better.
Yeah, much better.
Okay.
So that's a good first thing to start with. Almost all words in English that end in ate will make the it sound, just like I like it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And the common tendency for Brazilians and Portuguese speakers is to say ate, because that's what it looks like, right?
Yeah.
So instead of saying certificate, a lot of our students say certificate. So this can be applied to many different things like articulate, delicate, adequate, etc.
Certificate.
There we go. Perfect. So Leandro is asking about the difference between a diploma, certificate,
Which can be very
degree.
confusing in Portuguese as well, I think.
Yeah. So I think the first thing that I would like to point out, Leandro, is talking about education in general is quite difficult in English, simply because the educational systems in Brazil are much, much different than the educational systems in the US and other countries. So we measure things in different ways, we call things in different ways, and it can be quite confusing. So when in doubt, my advice is always keep things as simple as possible. Okay?
Uh-huh.
With that said, this is a really good question. So he asked the difference between, what was the first one, a diploma?
Diploma, a certificate, a degree, and the other levels of studies.
Okay, great. So let's start with diploma. In general, I want to say that diploma has to do with high school primarily. So when you finish high school, you receive your high school diploma. And a diploma, in my view, these are all with a disclaimer, this is just my intuition, is that a diploma is referring to the actual document, whereas a degree could kind of refer to the experience or the document, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's really interesting because in Brazil, I could be wrong, but in Brazil, when you are done with college, you get your diploma and not a certificate, you know?
You do not get a certificate. So let's wait a minute. So diploma, I think, is most common with high school, but I do think it could be applied to other circumstances, or in the very least, it could be understood. If you were talking about a university diploma, people would understand what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Cool. So do you want to talk about certificate?
Yes. I think that certificate, how do I say the plural?
Certificates.
Certificates
Mm-hmm.
is when you, for example, I really want to learn more about how to write a script for a movie. And then you take a workshop or a course about it. And it's very specific. And it takes like 3 months, 6 months. And at the end of that, you get a certificate.
Yeah. I think that's more or less right. I don't necessarily think it has to be like a specific short course or workshop or something like that. But for me, a certificate is really kind of demonstrating proof. It's proving that you studied something and you completed a course. So that could be an online course. It could be a work training course. It could be some sort of workshop. A lot of our students ask if we have a certificate for Inglês no Cru, and it's really just a document that proves that you took this course, you studied, you understand the material.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. And the last one was?
Degree.
Okay, so this is a good example. So a degree in my humble opinion, almost always refers to higher education. So when we say higher education, we are talking about university and above. So a master's, doctorate, something like that. And like I was mentioning earlier when we were talking about diplomas, a degree could refer to the actual document, but it can also refer to the area of study and the experience. So when in doubt, if you want to talk about what you studied in university, many of our students say, I have a graduation in, or I'm graduation in, or something like that. That is kind of a direct translation from Portuguese. It sounds a little bit confusing to us. The easiest way to say this, so in my case, I could say, I have a degree in international relations.
But you had to make it specific. For example, for me, it was college, but you have a master's, right?
Yes.
So do you have to point it out? I have a degree, a bachelor degree. Is that how you say it?
Not really. Normally, at least in the US, we are a little bit specific, especially when it comes to higher levels of higher education, like a master's or a PhD, a doctorate program. So in my case, I would say I have a master's in international business, but what I'm really saying is I have a master's degree in international business.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Any questions?
No.
Yeah, this is a good question. I know it is quite complicated, and that's why I say when in doubt, keep it as simple as possible and just try to think about what would be most understandable to the other person you're talking to.
Perfect.
Cool. Thanks, Leandro. That was a great question, and we will be back soon answering more.
Thank you, Leandro. Bye.
Bye-bye.